was definitely my shit.
Hell yeah.
It still is my shit.
My favorite story is that album cover because they were gonna go with like some like cleavage in like this hot pink bikini top, and they're like, we can't do
this
that.
Ain't a love song to Bon Jovi.
No, this is a Bon Jovi episode now.
This is a love song to James Bond.
James Bond, Jovi.
That's Bon Jovi love song.
I'm just gonna keep watching you until I know who gets
James
what.
Bond, Jovi.
No, I know Chris jumped up too quick. He's like, I got a point.
I'm not gonna know shit.
I'm sturdy. It's, you know what it is. If you're not a fan, it's just gonna be misunderstood.
I'm not a fan.
Pretty much.
I'm not gonna lie, I am.
Pretty much.
I'm sure there's some songs that I've heard of his that I like, but I'm not.
I just got that one.
Let's just put it. Like it's James Bond. It's the second to last episode of James Bond. This is an episode where it's time to make a memory.
Facts.
It's just too much to be remembering the right shit down.
You're just gonna write down point. Like you're gonna write down a one.
That's too much. I already got to keep track of everybody's score.
I'm up to 3.
Me too.
Well, that's all you're getting for now. It'd be a miracle if I make it to the last.
I was just guessing. That's that one right there. What? How the
We're
fuck is
almost done
everybody
with
doing
Bond.
tonight?
We're almost done with Bond.
Oh,
I know.
Oh, yeah. The
Hey.
how do you say it? Prenuptial? Not prenuptial. What's the word?
Pre-nut?
Pre-com.
Yeah, pre.
Is that what you're talking about?
There's pre-cum and post-cum clarity. It's a real thing.
Yep. It is.
I know it's a real thing. I wasn't expecting to jump into pre-cum 5 seconds in.
No.
We're a minute. Actually,
We're 2 minutes. We're 2 minutes in.
We're almost 2 minutes in. That's good for us.
Hashtag pre-cum.
That's a record.
Listen, here's a challenge for us. Here's what we're working on.
PCC, post-cum clarity for the win.
Oh boy.
We're trying to work on within the first 5 minutes of like no vulgar language. We're a work in progress, people. We're a work in progress, especially when we're all together.
That wasn't vulgar language.
That's a medical
vulgar
term.
language.
That's a medical term.
Oh, yeah.
I think they call it something. I think they say something else. I don't think they say pre-cum at a doctor's office. They probably say
Post-ejaculate clarity.
There you go.
They call it leakage.
They definitely don't call it leakage.
or
Early ejaculation.
Or a tear
Penis
from a
leakage?
one-eyed
I feel like the medical terms make it sound worse than what we were saying.
It's a tear from a one-eyed snake.
Oh my gosh. We're not sure, people. Believe it or not, we're not
We're
doctors.
off the rails already.
We're
Off
not
the rails.
doctors. We could play them on TV, but real life, no, I don't trust our opinions. Don't take our doctoral opinions. Don't do it.
I'm going to tell you this right now before we start. I'm leaning towards Craig as my favorite Bond.
Yeah.
He is pretty legendary.
He is.
It's
It
funny
has
you
been
say
awesome.
that. It's funny you say that, James, because I'm thinking the same thing. Like Pierce, I'm sorry, man, but you're bounced down to number 2.
Yeah,
Roger,
I like
Hold on.
the attitude of this one.
That's awesome, but
you know what it
here's
is? He feels like a complete Bond. He feels like like each Bond. I feel like may have been missing maybe just a little something. I didn't realize it until I seen him as Bond. He's a complete Bond.
He has
And
the
he's more
ego.
realistic Bond.
He got
More.
the ego, but he's also smug.
But
like he's
then
like
technically,
whatever.
if you think about that, all those other Bonds who were incomplete, he took from all of them then, making him the complete Bond.
I would say so. Took all the good qualities and then he ignored Lazenby. He was like, I don't even gotta watch this. Fuck that.
that's
Just
fair.
don't do that.
But is there an aspect of that? So this is the only Bond I feel like where we've had a This is the only Bond where we've had a continuous story through his movies or a connection that becomes clear.
Mhm.
Does that make? How much of an impact is that?
It honestly, it's huge because the stories connect. You actually start caring about the story more. You start caring. You actually start caring about Bond more than just him doing a bunch of cool shit in the movies. Because you care about you care about the other characters as well. Because again, it's the same storyline going on.
This does dig into his past. Skyfall digs into his past, and I feel Spectre brings all fucking 4 of the movies together.
Mm-hmm.
That's not. We
Hey,
haven't
so
seen a
it's-
James Bond character growth with the other actors the way
This
we did with.
confused me
I
a little
disagree.
bit. It had like a
I
Okay.
disagree.
pretty, a prequel quality to it, but it also was like I couldn't confuse. I didn't know what year they're in. I was like, is this when he first became Bond?
I knew you would. None of you read my thing.
No.
None of you read my thing.
I'm not even gonna lie. I did not.
This is sometimes
Mick, would you read it to us? You have like the
I'm
reading.
not
voice.
reading it to you. I expect
I want the
you to read it.
audiobook version.
We want
You
you
know
to
what?
read it to us.
Mick, I don't know how to read. Sorry.
I'm just saying right now. These days, I just
Give me the Cliff Notes.
No, I'm not giving you. Okay. Here's the clip.
What was I supposed to read? Does it come with a Chevy 350 or a Ford 302 in it?
It does not. So
No wonder.
What about
I
a
didn't read it.
lawnmower? He knows those too.
I
Briggs
wrote
and
out my
Stratton?
entire
Briggs and
theory.
Stratton? Look,
Basically-
Paul didn't read it either.
I've said it before and I'll say it again.
Nick's finding new friends.
Paul, don't you think he should just read it to us? Raise your hand if you think Mick should just read it to us. Boom.
I'll read it in the next episode since we're only doing one.
Boom. Perfect.
How
There
long?
you
How big is this essay?
It's about 17 and a half pages.
Holy shit!
It's like 2 pages.
I was about to say I'm definitely not reading it. I don't have time for a book.
Dude, all right. Basically, my theory is, and there's a lot to it to kind of like, show my evidence, but it's that from Connery all the way to Brosnan. I know he didn't read it.
No, I'm just pulling these up.
You can always trust your friends. I want you to know that. You can always trust your friends to do things for you. So I know these guys aren't my friends.
Because we're more like family. Family don't really do shit for you.
You know what? We weren't born to follow. That's just how it is, and I get it. So
Listen, when you tell me to read sign, I have
I know it's
PTSD
another-
like I'm in school.
it's a
I'm
fun
like,
read.
oh.
Shut up.
I
What is
honestly
this?
didn't know. Honestly didn't know there was something to read. I probably would have been the only one, but I did
In
not
fairness,
realize.
you get a pass. You've only been here for 2 weeks. No, but so my big thing with it is that from Connery all the way through Brosnan, it's one Bond. That's that guy's career.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And like they leave it purposely ambiguous when he starts and becomes Bond again. And you see it from the beginning in Casino Royale, which I get because Casino Royale is the first Bond. But I take it as Daniel Craig was recruited by Judi Dench's M, after either Bond died or he's just retired and he left. We don't know. We didn't find out. So she realized that MI6 needs a bomb. Not MI6. Is it MI6?
Yeah, it's MI6.
MI6, the 00 program, needs a 007 James Bond type of character. One who's like sort of out there, does things big, does things brash. She has other agents that can go out and do their thing. So she purposely, instead of recruiting somebody who would be normally set for it, goes after somebody who fits the bill and reminds her of James Bond. And he takes over the moniker and title and 007 title after that James Bond, which I think passed away, and he is. And now
That is a good theory.
I back it up because
Wait a minute. Explain Skyfall then, where it has his parents' tombstone. Says Bond.
all right. There's some suspension of disbelief. That's really actually if you read it, that's the only suspension of disbelief where you could be like, all right, maybe she picked somebody with the last name Bond or something, or somebody from his family, maybe. You never know. So like, you can kind of make up your own fan theory. I'm already put together a fan theory. Let that one go. I knew you were going to say it. I knew you were going to say that because that's the one thing in this whole theory where I'm like, it kind of needs some explanation. Everything else sort of works because every movie,
Especially the second movie.
after
Especially the second.
Teresa dies and On Her Majesty's Secret Service, every other Bond it's mentioned by every other Bond, even the Connery where he comes back.
You're not wrong.
And they never mention him being married with Craig.
Nope.
So you think it was a file? He read everything. I was married. I was this, and he just became Bond
You'll
again?
find out
Like,
next week why this Bond can't be those Bonds.
Okay.
And then
Yeah, we're down to just No Time to Die.
He finds out that he's clean. He don't have no diseases.
that's
Wow.
very fair.
Well, no, Vesper is his first love, in Daniel Craig's first love. We get introduced to Miss Swan by the time we get to Spectre, who is really his next love. This is the most cohesive story for me for a Bond, but I can see your theory, but Skyfall does put an asterisk on that, I would say.
That's the only asterisk, because there's, even in my theory, there's reasons for why M is different. There's reasons for why Q is different. There's reasons for why Q branch went away and came back. There's everything, like, again, it's involved. There's a lot of stuff I wrote in there where it's like that during this process I'm researching to see if it does connect. And if it didn't connect, I didn't leave it. That's why, like with the Bond thing, I was like, I'm going to leave this because it doesn't connect. If people find it, they can discount it if they want, but I don't feel it turns that down. Personally.
They also try to trick you thinking that his real last name is Skyfall, but then you see the tombstones that says Bond. So I'm like, what the hell?
So I think that was to give the idea that he is Bond. Okay. You know, he deserves the name. And that's why I kind of adopted the fan theory from me. That's like, maybe he's related to Bond. So,
even the groundskeeper knows him. He said, I knew him when he was a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, even all James Bonds were babies once. Even little Roger Moore got cradled like a little baby.
Yeah.
It's
This is more like
it's all about loving you.
Anti-hero Bond. Like, he goes off the grid. He leaves MI6. He's like, fuck you guys.
He got shot and left for dead. But
he knows the job, like she said. It's for the better of England. Even if your name is Bond. If you get hit on accident, oh well.
But she knew he was alive. Again, like, she knew he was alive and didn't go after him until she needed him.
Because they never found the body. Is a big
I think that's what it was. She always had, like, eyes on him. I think that's because if you remember with Pierce Brosnan, she was like, she warmed up to him. But when, in that first GoldenEye, she didn't like him.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't trust him. And I think that's because she was a new M. He was Bond coming back after all of his issues.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And that's why I think, like, it gets more and more intense after Teresa dies with each movie. And that's why I think the Timothy Dalton ones are so different. I think that's when he finally snaps. Like, he's reached his breaking point. And that's why when you're in GoldenEye at the beginning, they're like, you took your hiatus. We're evaluating you. I think that's supposed to be a continuation of, like, he's allowed to be a 00 again.
Okay.
After snapping, like, because that's why he's a little, like, if you even look at the beginning of GoldenEye, he's intense. He's reckless. He drives a motorcycle off a cliff to catch a plane. Like,
yeah,
he is.
I was just about to say
the stunts really change with GoldenEye from there forward.
There is still one of my favorite scenes in these Bond movies.
No, I would argue that because License to Kill has a very cool plane.
But that just jumping off a motorcycle and diving into a damn plane and controlling the plane, that is great. That is awesome. Let's not take away from the fact that we had Connery and many flying contraptions that I don't know.
I'm not trying to take away from I feel like they just upped it. Like, you're in the night, it goes from from 80s to 90s, and
they definitely upped it. They definitely upped it a lot. But that's one that really stands out for me. There's that. And the running sequence last week's, that parkour shit, that was fucking phenomenal.
Watching James Bond run last week was just exhausting.
Nah, not Bond. The other dude, the stuff he was doing, like, watching Bond was cool, but the stuff the other dude was doing to make it look so damn easy, I'm like, that
professional parkour guy.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it was just cool to see. Like, I love seeing shit. Like, I'm like, yo, you guys are crazy as shit, brave as fuck. Because I'm taking the stairs. They're like, yeah, me too, but I'm gonna do a fucking backflip down every single one.
Let's
Flip
talk
off the
about
wall.
Skyfall, because one of the most besides the theme song, which is by far one of the best.
Mhm.
I
Let's
think.
start with that, because I know
So-
Mick wanted to talk about the
Mhm.
intro for this. He made me watch it this time, but
Yep.
I wasn't mad with this one. I love it.
This is a great fucking.
I
This
love
is
Adele's voice.
this might be my favorite James Bond theme.
Can I
Ooh.
ask that we try something next week for the final episode too? If I have to read this crap,
Oh yeah, by the way, Paul
okay.
said, yes, don't be selfish to read to us, Mick. He misses when his dad used to read to him in bed.
You
So,
could bring him back
Paul-
to the feeling of happy like
I'm
a
gonna
child
bring you
again.
So Paul,
bring
here's
back
what's gonna
Lucy.
happen.
He wants a good night story.
When you gotta lay in bed when he's reading this to
He
us.
wants
next
you to
week,
put him to
and
sleep.
You have
I'll
to send
be
Mick. You have
here.
to send Mick the picture of you in bed while he reads.
Be here at 9 p.m. next Saturday night.
Yep.
And be ready. And I'll be reading you my and I'll do it in a sexy voice.
He's gonna kick it off. We're gonna kick it off
There
with
you
that.
go.
That's the only kind of voice Mick has.
Damn right.
That's how
Well,
we're
I'm
gonna
no
kick it off.
Troy, but well, Troy has a commanding voice. I feel like that's more like James Earl Jones-ish. Like James Earl Jones is sexy,
But you feel,
with that
I feel,
voice.
see with that,
but he's
I
more
feel
like commanding.
you feel safe with him though.
Yeah, no, I'm not, but like even with the commanding, like that can be like there's an authority here that we can respect.
Brown,
Me,
yeah.
I'm just fucking
some
sexy. I
Barry
exude
White.
sexuality like it's fucking crazy.
Do Barry
Mick was
White.
made for radio.
I don't know if it's a compliment or not at this point now.
If there was ever a face for podcasting, mine is it. Listen, that felt. I am living proof
News Radio.
that not every face should be seen. Man, that one hurt a little bit, Chris. That was like a shot through the heart.
He went there.
I'm marking that one down.
Listen,
He's giving him a point. Himself a point.
That one's a double Bon Jovi hurt Mick point.
well,
I forgot to mark them already.
I'm
I
up
totally
to
forgot
5.
about it.
you missed one then. I've done 6.
Yeah, okay. I'm also drunk, so I'm gonna.
That's
miss it.
fine. That's why it's going to be so much nicer. You don't worry. You keep marking them
I
down, and
know
you're going to have a
practice
nice
it.
day.
6.
That's one.
Oh boy.
Skyfall.
That's Adele.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I enjoyed this theme song. One of the so I don't know the last time I've watched these movies, but one of the iconic scenes I remember, just even from the trailer, and it happens in Skyfall, which I didn't realize until the scene was going on. The fucking train fight where he's chasing this guy in the beginning of this movie.
Oh my gosh.
They end up on the train, fighting on top of the train. He uses the heavy machinery there to like connect the cars, like make a bridge. He jumps onto it while it rips off the back of the car. Like one of the scenes that's just frozen in my brain is where he lands in the back of this train car while it's being ripped off and then just adjusts his suit and fucking keeps going.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, that is such an awesome fucking goddamn scene.
I want to stick with that scene. Because again, I was watching with Mick and Chris, right? And I'm pointing this scene out. I'm like, Bond gives 0 fucks about anybody else, because that he's over here when he's grabbing the shit with the shit. All those people that are on the train, like he didn't give 2 shits about them. Just rips the roof off. People are just running around and stuff. And it makes me think of other movies where you have like these superhero movies where they're fighting the villains, they're getting the villain, or they're getting the bank robber. But I'm like, you tore the whole city up, killed 8,000
Well,
people.
Brosnan drives that tank through Moscow.
Brosnan was ranked as the most deadly Bond. He his movies killed the most people.
Like, I would love that. Would be a fun thing to do. It's just like, okay, what superhero movies? Like, if I don't know how you could figure out destroyed more of their cities or the biggest cities, or has the most casualties.
Superman movie.
How do you get by the Thanos snap in Avengers then? Because
but I'll say more so of the heroes. I'll say more so of the heroes doing it.
That kills one person. That killed
then the anti-hero / villain or whatever you would classify Thanos as. I'm just talking about the Avengers alone, just them alone when they're fighting.
Hulk destroys everything. He jumps on buildings and rips it off just to grip him so he can climb the buildings and jump from building
and
to
the reason
building.
why I bring this up, I know it's silly because they're movies or whatever. Movies got a movie, but it's like, yo, listen, we're about to fight, right? We're gonna tear up the whole city. Everybody, get out of here. It's like, yo, everybody, just safely leave.
No, see, that's where you get it wrong. Like, listen, shit happens, all right? Like, especially if you go back to the first Avengers, a portal opened up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who do you blame?
Right.
Like, you're getting alien invaded. Who do you blame for that? Like, it happens. Like,
Yeah, I don't.
I get that. No, I'm just.
that's
but
not my main point, though.
It's not only the alien things, though. I mean,
No,
Batman.
but it's not. My main point was there has to be a level of accountability for the people to get themselves out of the city.
Mm.
You might as well. I'm gonna tell you right now. I would just move out of Gotham. But yo, there's too much crazy ass shit just happens in there every fucking day.
If you're a citizen of Gotham and this
Every
shit just keeps happening, how long before you move?
Oh, shit. That's the type of thing where I'm like, all right, yo, say you're moving. It's like, yo, say like our crew, like we're like, listen, we're gonna do some pod studio shit. Where should we go? We're checking like, yo, where can we afford? And Gotham is like cheap as shit. Like we know what this means. There's a reason why this property, not even rent. You can just buy this property for $6. Nah, we're not going there. We're not going there. Like, no. But
Well, every Bond movie, every car chase, multiple people have died.
Yeah.
All the car accidents.
Yo, that's another thing I love about. I mean, in the sense of, because it's like, okay, I get it. You're trying to get the villain. You're trying to get the bad guy, but you are so reckless, like you're saying, in these car chase scenes.
It's about the mission, man. It's about that's the job.
You can't let them get away.
Yeah, that's true.
And I said this in the group chat. I would not survive a single mission James Bond has ever been on, and I'm fairly confident in that.
I would not either. And then I wouldn't. No. And then on top of that, I'm just like, yo, I'm not doing that.
I would totally win everything. I would go into a James Bond style mission exactly the way James Bond would do it, and it would. I
could easily go in with that confidence, but I could easily go in with that confidence, but I would be killed almost immediately.
I mean, listen,
Mick is gonna walk in and go right to the fucking villain's wife and says, "We're
I don't think you just like. I'm going to tell you right now. I've had my fair share amount of wonderful interactions with beautiful women. I'm not saying I'm James Bond, but I'm pretty sure they don't like it when you just walk up to them and say, "Hey, we're gonna fuck."
He doesn't need to.
Like James Bond doesn't say those things.
He doesn't say it, but you know that's what the woman's hearing, and she's into it.
That's not what she's hearing. That's what she wants. There's a difference. If I walked into a room and a woman's like, then I'd be James Bond because that shit don't happen to me. But
by the way, I'm calling. By the way, I think Skyfall is the best Home Alone sequel I've ever seen.
How?
How do you survive GoldenEye? How do you drive a tank, Paul? How do you drive a tank? That's the only way he got this man.
I think he's just talking about that one specific scene. But I want to go back to I want to go back to
one girl.
I want to go back to us really quick being Bond, right? I'm gonna tell you where I'm at. That parkour thing. As soon as I see this dude jumping and climbing, you know what? You know what?
Sturdy's out when the boat's involved. If there's water, Sturdy is out.
Send the drones.
Here's where I would be out in Casino Royale. It's not when he starts running, because I realize, all right, I might have to catch up to him. I'm not gonna catch up to him fast. All right, let's put me in like immaculate condition. All right, let's just like I'm in great condition, right? Physical condition, so I can run after him. You know when I'm out is the second he climbed that goddamn thing. The second he climbed those beams.
Yep,
I was like.
Was it a crane?
There's no elevator. I'm out. Like I'm a regular human being.
Wait a second. Are you afraid of heights? As tall as you are?
No, I'm not climbing a beam support.
Oh, okay. You're not scared of heights.
You know how many people died in that?
Yeah, but Mick,
because it blew up.
Listen. Hear me out. And this is why you would be safe. Same with Chris, because you guys are both tall. Just
my
put on
God.
a Godzilla and a King Kong onesie, and those things aren't going to harm you.
They're
You'll
gonna
just be
harm
those.
us.
You just.
No.
Well, you know what,
I,
Sturdy?
you're
I
the
just
beast.
appreciate it. Thank you for loving me, man.
I would go one step farther than Mick. I would at least try it the first time, and then when I fell on my back and I was in pain, I'm like, he wins.
Yeah, I'm scared of heights, so I'm just not even going to go up
It's
there.
my
I'm like,
life. I'm not
Yeah.
going up the fucking thing.
I'll just look like, yeah, you won. You
Yeah,
got it.
I'm becoming
out
like
of
everybody
training.
else on the street. I'm pulling out my phone and I'm just gonna be like, "You see this shit?"
I'll tell you what. I'll get up on that crane where he jumped from one crane to the other. If there's like if it turns into a bed of roses or some shit.
I'm not even doing that.
Whenever you see me,
Like you
whenever you see me turn my head like this, I'm making another note of a Bon Jovi riff.
Eh,
I'll say it like this:
Dead or
If he deals-
alive,
if it deals with boats and
he
submarines,
wins.
That's fun.
he got away. If it deals with me having to jump off of something into something, they got away. Like, listen, if it ain't him doing something simple like just going across the street, they got away.
Dude, he caught that guy eventually, right? He did get him. I'll give it to him. He caught him eventually, caught up to him.
Yup.
He brings him out of the consulate, shoots him in front of everyone,
yup.
and blows up
Mhm.
everything and leaves in a blaze of glory.
Yeah,
See, Paul, you're a little crazy. You were in the circus.
you're
Paul. You
racking
probably
them
got
up,
out of the
Mick. You're
cannon.
racking them up.
I got a lot, dude. There's so many.
This one after first off, this is the one that introduces the new Moneypenny who shoots James Bond and he falls off the
Yo.
train into the
Yeah.
river.
Yup.
She is.
Skyfall.
That's why she's in love with him. She's trying to make it up. It's
She,
not real love.
I
guilty.
really thought they were gonna bang, and they don't. She shaves him.
Yeah.
She's my favorite Money Penny.
Nope.
She's good. I liked her. I like
love
her a
her.
lot.
Lois Maxwell's always going to have a special place in my heart. She
And it's not even because of her looks, but she's also a badass, which is just
No,
awesome.
she-
Naomi
she's
Harris is great. I love Naomi.
I like that they bring her into the missions. You don't get her name until the end of the movie.
Mm.
Yeah.
That it's the new Moneypenny. I
Yeah.
like the way they introduced her. Like I thought it
Same.
was great.
See
Hey,
that
hey.
that if during this time and if Daniel Craig's James Bond, not that he wasn't influential as Bond,
Right.
but there was tumultuous. So like you never knew if he was going to come back or not. So like
Yep.
you weren't building a franchise on it. You were getting lucky that he was willing to complete more of the story.
Yeah.
Like if they had done something at that point when they finally in Skyfall give you now what's meant to be the new team, you have M, you have Q, you have Moneypenny. If they were to do break off like spin-offs with Naomi Harris as Moneypenny doing, I would have been okay with it then. But now that you're just going to start new and it's going to be a cash grab, that feels even worse.
No, then that's what
Yeah.
exactly what Amazon's gonna do.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Like I would have liked Naomi Harris, like a show or a movie with her, out in the field, no James Bond, just doing her thing. She doesn't like field work, but she could maybe get stuck out there or something.
Well, it's a
Mhm.
traumatic event that kind of takes her away from field work. She thinks she killed 007 until he comes back.
Mhm.
yeah, but
That's where the guilt trip
It
came in.
is,
That she
but
started
like the way they brought that in, because they hadn't brought in a Moneypenny in Daniel Craig's first two movies. They introduce her, you don't know that's Moneypenny at first,
Right.
or that's like they worked it in natural. I felt like it was a natural fit, but they bring her in. Will they also end M?
Yeah.
yeah.
And you bring
She's Moneypenny to a whole new.
yeah. So I feel they did an awesome transition. Like you're phasing out a previous character while you're
Yep.
introducing a new one that's supposed to be there, and that's something these Daniel Craig movies did great. I think.
Yeah. And the whole thing about M plays into what Mick was saying earlier on, like how there was that weird imbalance when Pierce Brosnan had first come in, and then now we're seeing it here, and then we learn, especially in the next movie, certain details. But then now you know why all of these agents they call M Mum or Mom.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's because again, it's like she really molded them and she picked them young, and there's this whole existential experience that occurred.
Orphans make
leads
the
them-
best agents.
Yeah, it's dope.
And that's what I like about these Daniel Craig movies so far is they just get more personal. I don't know if it's a matter of a change with the times
Mm.
or the storytelling or what. I feel like it's more of a change with the times. Like you need to captivate an audience. You're seeing the same character over and over again. How do you make it fresh? You need to develop some kind of personal connection with these characters now to make it stand out. And now you're building a story.
The story of James Bond and that character is timeless because it is Bond. Because again, you show how it's about picking certain individuals, making them into a certain individual, and that can be repeated over and over. It's just a process, you know what I mean? And each M does things differently within the whole company that they have there. So I love it, and that's why I connect with these more. The old James Bonds, don't get me wrong, I loved Roger Moore and I loved Sean Connery, but at the same time, they just hit different, and I think part of that is just cultural differences and time frame and pop and all that stuff and pop culture. So this is my Bond. This is the one I claim, even though I technically first saw Pierce Brosnan. I think this is, again, the best well-rounded, most down-to-earth and flawed, but also so extremely good and proficient at everything. Bond.
He's the most brutal.
Yeah, and even though he still has the magic power of luck, it doesn't play as much or as blatantly as older ones. But this one is more of another reason. I could be Bond if I train. You know what I mean?
Another reason, though, I don't think he is the 007 Bond from the past, because it was luck with him. It was 100% luck that he survives almost everything. This Bond, you're right, I like that point, is that we do see him throughout this movie. It's not luck. He's surviving. That card game when he keeps coming back. And like even at one point when Le Chiffre finally goes, he's like, change your shirt, Mr. Bond. Like even he's sweating, like, how is this motherfucker not dead? Still luck there, but at the same time, it's like he had to go through it though.
One of my favorite scenes in Skyfall is after when he's sitting at the bar with, I don't even know the female character's name, but he's like, I can save you, I can get you out, and she's, then she goes into what she used to be, a sex slave.
Welcome in everybody over on TikTok. Thanks for coming. Don't forget to tap that screen.
Chris?
Favorite scene in Skyfall. One of my favorite scenes, where he's sitting at the bar with the woman whose character's name I can't remember. She's like, the guards are going to kill. Yeah, the guards are going to kill you after I leave. And then you have the shot of James Bond from his back standing at the bar, and he holds up his martini to like the 3 bodyguards on the bridge there and like the casino. I'm like, there's just something fucking cool about the way they're shooting this scene.
Oh my god! And the Komodo dragon fight.
The Komodo dragon, because he's about to kick these guys' asses.
Yeah.
Somehow, it's coming, but just him toasting them. I'm like, this is a fucking cool shot.
Yeah, agreed. I absolutely I love how this whole movie played. First of all, Roger Deakins is a beast. He's one of the best cinematographers on the planet, and everything in this movie is gorgeous. Sam Mendes does a great movie in this. I love Skyfall. I realize why a lot of James Bond fans don't like it. And it seems like a lot of those James Bond fans that don't like it, they're more Brosnan fans. And I think that's because we lose Q in it, and that connection to Bond we sort of lose. But I think we gain so much more, and it's so familiar in this movie.
I like the new Q.
Yeah,
a lot.
I love the new Q. The new M is great with Ralph Fiennes taking over. And like he earned the spot where you're like,
he did.
There's some trust here. I dig this.
It was a natural transition, which could have easily gone awry. Like I think they did it well enough that it just felt okay. I can roll with this. The story can keep going.
They even made it where he didn't like Bond at first.
They never do. The only thing that bothers me, like everybody doubts Bond all the time. And by the time his story ends in each movie, he's clearly been right about everything, and they keep fucking doing it. Like track him. He's off his rocker. He's not on to anything
on his missions.
Yeah, but, a week later, he was fucking right about everything. Yeah. Like that's like the only weird part.
But that's the thing. Again, I hate to keep going back to that theory though. But for me to fill it in, and it's cognitive bias at some points, but to fill it in that moment is to me is none of these people truly trust him. Like this Bond. And it's because like even I find myself in these movies questioning him. Yes, he is right, but like his methods are pretty messed up.
Oh,
yeah, he's reckless. Yeah,
he is insanely reckless. Like Quantum of Solace alone, it was like, dude, people are just straight up like that girl, like who gets the oil all over. It's like, and she's just like, she works in an office. She was supposed to just put you on a plane.
yeah.
This is what happens, and it's right. Like he's so reckless. He doesn't care about anything going on except the mission and to do it for his country. And I get that. We see that a lot, but I don't know. Like, but this one, I hope they continue this. I think if you're going to go on and pick any new James Bond, you have to pick something special from each one, right? Like a character trait.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of hope they continue on with that, though.
Skyfall has Mads Mikkelsen's sex slave wife that he befriends, bangs, and they have the shootout with like the shot glass on top of her head, and Mads Mikkelsen just fucking shoots her in the gut. Like you knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Like, but fuck, man. Like, and the way he plays it off, and then it's like it doesn't even matter. Like they get some of that psychological like fucking up for James Bond in there, and Daniel Craig plays it well. But at the same time, you're like, how much is this going to play into the future?
Yeah.
Because now he's like has a personal vendetta.
Yeah.
Because his life is fucked now, so he's getting more reckless. He don't care.
Well, this one especially. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I feel like he does a good balance and act between leaving it unpredictable, where if you haven't seen this already, you're not 100% sure which way he's gonna go when he has a chance to kill somebody or not.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Skyfall especially though, he's like missing a stab. He doesn't. Although one thing that really cracks me up about it is Sturdy and I were I think you were there too, Chris, when we were watching the movie, and like he's like saying like these, can you still shoot? Can you shoot the shot glass off? Then he kills her, and he swiftly takes out 4 people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like wait, you mean to tell me he couldn't shoot the glass off of her head?
Or he wasn't willing to. He wasn't willing, or was he just not willing to risk it?
But at the same time, it's like, how dare you say there? And you had a gun in your hand. He didn't touch you. He even told you, I have other people for you. You did nothing, and this man took out 4 people in front of you, and you're still like, you've missed a step, James. And it's like, nah. He just didn't want to shoot at the woman that he didn't want to kill. That's okay. Because he just murdered 4 of your people in front of you, and you couldn't even move to stop him.
By the way, in Skyfall, that hitman he's tracking, when they're up in that building, he fucking lets him kill his target.
Yeah.
Don't forget about that while he's trying to track down who's paying him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like he could have stopped him from not killing his target.
Agreed. But that's not the mission, though.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about James Bond we forget is like, if it's not part of the mission, like stopping that wasn't his mission.
No.
Finding out who's paying that guy was. So like, I see it. But then he goes and gets himself in trouble, and it's like, I'm just gonna go talk to her. I am gonna kill him and then go talk to her, and it's like, man, you set that up. You're snake.
Also, Javier Bardem, who's the villain at Skyfall, does an awesome job. The fucking scene where he's tied to the chair, Javier Bardem comes in on the elevator, and he's just walking towards James Bond, telling him his story for 5 minutes. I'm like, this is the longest fucking villain walk I've ever seen. I'm like, just fucking come on, man.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was still good.
Yeah.
But I'm like, they're really dragging this out.
Yeah, I think that's one of the tropes that they kind of keep in as pay homage to how it all went back in the day. You always have that evil montage, that evil villain, the nemesis has to explain it all to you. It's just one of those things you gotta expect.
But Javier Bardem was awesome. He was a great villain in this.
Yep.
What's the sleep count? How many women?
He banes. So we were up to 54, and he banes 2 women in this, so we're at 56.
Okay.
There you go, Bond. I don't like the new M in this one right now.
Mallory, the guy.
I don't like him.
Oh, I don't mind them.
I don't. But what it was is the last one we had. I just liked her so much.
Judi Dench. Did you think she was gonna die? Was this a first time watch for you?
This is the first time watch from me.
Yeah, this whole franchise is the first time watch for me.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Did you think she was gonna die, or did you think she was gonna pull out because she gets injured, and there's no clear way it's gonna go for her until you get to the very end.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I wasn't sure, but I just like when the whole M change happened, I just did not like that guy as M. I just didn't.
I feel like they worked him in well enough that it was a natural transition.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Fair.
I mean, I liked him. I thought it was a good transition, and I thought it was a good bridging of the guy because again, it normalizes a little more after Skyfall. You know, the end of Skyfall is really where it comes together. He comes in the office, meets Moneypenny. So now we're back to it. And that's why when we get to Spectre, it feels like, okay, this feels familiar for James Bond fans. I dig it. I was okay with it. I like Ralph Fiennes. I think if you were going to replace M with anyone, that was a good one to replace.
That was a good. I feel like Skyfall was a nice homage to the early James Bond and kind of setting up that familiar feeling again, but still keeping it modern.
And they even do it at the end. They made it like when his house blew up and everything. It's like they're forget the past. Let's wipe out the past.
It was like a reset of the series. I felt like, but still continuing the same story that is for this specific James Bond.
You know what it was though, like because he wasn't a bad. Don't get me wrong, he's not a bad actor. It's just something that just didn't connect for me. And I'm not even saying she shouldn't have been replaced, just like everyone else was, with in their positions with that, with Q and But for whatever, I don't know what it was. It just didn't. I don't know because Q I liked a lot. Q I thought was awesome.
Q, I like the new Q. I like his first interaction with James Bond at the museum, where he's just ripping on him for being too young, but it doesn't mean anything and stuff like that. Yeah, that was good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I liked it, and I like that it was simple. This one,
it was simple.
It was a simple, just like a nice, simple intro, just a gun and the radio detonator thing. Because in the next one you kind of get a little bit more, and I dug that. I was like, but like just for Q, a brand new Q, especially considering we had Desmond Llewellyn for 17 movies, 16 movies, something like that, and I felt like they did it right. If they didn't do it this way, it was going to leave a bad taste in people's mouth. Like, don't have them in the first two and then introduce somebody new.
Yeah. You hear that, Halloween?
Jesus, don't even get me started.
I just had to throw that out there.
No, you really didn't. You didn't. You didn't have to.
You brought it out.
And again, this is the best Home Alone sequel that's been made.
Yeah.
I'll say after part 2.
when he just grabs a gun and shoots the ice. That's James Bond, man. He's like, fine.
He's trying to save basically his childhood. Like they retreat to his childhood home, and you get some James Bond past, and he sets up fucking booby traps. I'm like, this is fucking 007 Kevin McAllister shit going on.
From what I remember, that the old man who's played by Albert Finney, great actor, by the way. If anybody doesn't know who he is,
I was really concerned they were going to kill the groundskeeper after they introduced him, and I'm glad they didn't.
You know, their original plan was to get Sean Connery to play that role.
Nice.
That doesn't surprise me.
And that is another reason why I go with that theory, is because like I think it was supposed to be that he is related to James Bond.
Oh shit.
The groundskeeper is Bond but retired.
Yeah. Like the actual Bond retired, and they were going to try and like bridge the gap of losing the Sam and bringing a new Bond into the world.
Well, Skyfall was 2012. When did Connery die? Was it like 2015? 15? 16?
You know what? I
forgot he died.
I didn't even know he passed away, to be honest.
Well, I mean, he was old back then. He died in
Yeah.
2020. Yeah, he died October 31st, 2020.
All right.
Oh, you died
COVID. Goddamn COVID.
He was 90 years old.
Wow, long life.
I don't know if it was COVID.
I don't think it was COVID. I don't think so.
I mean, it might have been. I don't know.
Was everybody rate this one?
Ooh, good question, James.
You know what? I'm gonna go 10.
Ooh,
Oh shit!
I'm close. I'm at 9.
9.
I like this one.
I'm right there with James at a 9. It had the perfect balance of everything. It was simple, good action movie, great dialogue, good acting. 9.
I enjoyed the ascent, like Javier Bardem as the villain. The way he came in the helicopter at the house at the Skyfall mansion, blasting the music and just ready to blow shit up.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they escape, just that whole fucking that part of the movie where he's chasing them, they get to the church, he kills them. I'm like, fuck, man.
What's up with all these agents going rogue and turning evil? Wasn't he like the 007 in Hong Kong?
Yep. And here's okay. Again, I'll read it next week, and I won't give too much away. He was. I think he was. I'd have to reread it again. I forget which number it was. It was either 08. It was either 03, 08, or 09. They're all in there. Don't worry. And because they all come up, and here's the reason why. Because they talk about it in the Pierce Brosnan that 00, like I said, either 03, 08, or 09 is the field agent in Hong Kong, right?
Yeah.
And he gets in trouble, and this isn't Tomorrow Never Dies. He got in trouble with this one got in trouble with the government in China. So I'm assuming that that's the one who got arrested when they talk about it in the Pierce Brosnan movies. And again, I'll talk about it more when I read the thing, but
okay.
And then this is what happened to him. And that's again somebody from that bridging the gap, somebody from that old life who doesn't know this James Bond because of 007. He's not that much older. You know, he only knows him by reputation. He doesn't know him. And we do know that they do get all the 00s together at times when there's big emergencies. So that's been established as well. So that's why I think that she gave him up to the Chinese for stealing secrets or whatever. This is what happened. But he was the one that was stationed there during Tomorrow Never Dies.
Okay.
And that's why he goes after Bond when he comes back, because he knows James Bond has always been special to M.
It's just a moniker that she wouldn't put somebody in that position if she wasn't fond of them.
Look how many times even just her has saved James Bond 007 time and time again. Even saving a James Bond from North Korean imprisonment and torture in a trade, and he was still locked up. So that's why I'm telling you, if you read it, you know there's legs. You know,
that's a lot of words.
It's a lot of it's a lot of words, but just read
it's a lot of words. Well, we don't have to. You're gonna read it. You're gonna read it to us, and Paul's gonna be in bed.
Yeah, someday I'll be Saturday night reading it.
That's the final episode of this whole adventure. Is Mick just reads his essay on James Bond.
Yep.
I like
Hallelujah, baby.
I like that. I mean,
my life. I'll read whatever I want to.
There you go. I know we still got Spectre. There's one more.
I'm up to 10.
Nice.
I just feel bad. I know I'm misunderstood.
Mick, what is your rating? I gave this a 9, by the way. What's your rating for this one, Mick?
10. This is, I mean, Live and Let Die still has a very special place in my heart, but this has been my favorite Bond for a long, long time. I think Live and Let Die will be number 1 for me. I'd watch that more because it's so fun. And this one is, unfortunately, in the Craig era, it's very sharkless.
Yep.
There's no sharks or water in this one. Yeah.
I challenge all of you to make lists next week.
What are you talking? There's water in this one under the ice cap.
It's not the same.
I want to hear your favorites and stuff next week. Make a compile list. What's your favorite ski chase scene? What's your favorite use of sharks in James Bond? What's your favorite James Bond girl? What's your everything? Let's do it all. Take those bingo cards and now just pick our favorites for all of those events. What's your favorite plan? Who's your favorite bad guy? I think that would be a fun one.
That would be hard.
Finish this off.
I already know my favorite bad guy.
Well,
that's easy.
Save it for next week. Leave them wanting more.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. At least I think of it.
Just like your women.
I kind of want to see Bond evolve into M, honestly.
Nah, he's too brash.
You don't think eventually, with some time, as he gets older, he'll end up being like, you know what?
I feel like that's a completely different type of character.
Yeah, I don't think because he's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
he's too impulsive and brash. Yeah, brash.
He is living proof that you should not
put
allow
him in
double O's
charge
to become M's.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's so many more qualified double O. And then you get this guy who is an old double O and he's just insane. It's like, I don't know if I put you in charge.
He's telling the fucking other double O's. He's them. He's sitting here. He goes, listen, when you do the plan, this is what worked for me. You go in and you sleep with their wife.
You kill your target and then you bang his wife. That is the first and second step in every mission you are part of.
No, because she winds up and gets banged at some point or gets dead at some point in everyone. Because like even this, like we should count the Bond girls who got killed just by being in the vicinity.
Almost.
He would just tell them, listen, we got trackers on you. We're going to monitor you. Step 1, get caught. Step 2, get out. Step 3, come back home.
All right. Here's
James
a question.
Bond gives love a bad name, I'm telling you that.
He really does. Every time he falls in love, he ends up having to bury the love of his life.
He hooks up with these married women of the bad guy, and then it's just like afterwards, they're just like, never say goodbye.
13. Yeah. Going on to Spectre. Here's a question. We got one movie left. We're going to talk about Spectre. We're up to 56 women.
Oh, we got it. Where's your trivia questions there, pal?
Oh yeah, pal.
Hold on. I was unprepared, so I pulled up a list.
You motherfucker.
I was busy. I was busy drinking and watching soccer. Sorry. He sleeps with 2 women in Spectre, which brings us to a total of 58. Can he hit 60 with our last movie next week, No Time to Die? Mick, you've seen this. I don't want your... Don't say anything.
I think he's going to sleep with 3 women next week.
Can he hit 60?
He's going to hit 60.
At this point, he's banged more chicks than Freddy's killed. Fucking...
Dude. Hey, who's your top slayer? Bond.
James Bond.
Your top.
This ain't a love song, dude.
14. Can he hit 60 next week, Aaron?
I'm not.
I think he can.
Everybody plays some bets.
Yep.
I think he can.
He's gonna go crazy. He's gonna end up on a resort on an island or something with a bunch of beautiful women. He's hitting 69.
That'd be funny. They ended it like that.
I really think he's gonna go on an orgy in the last movie.
He walks into a sex club and his numbers bing, 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 bing.
I'm gonna put it to you like this right now. If Bond leaves this last film in an orgy, we would have known about this. We would have started with this Bond movie just because of that.
What are you talking about? Do you not remember on Her Majesty's Secret Service?
Yeah.
The whole thing was a fucking orgy.
Yeah.
All those women were like, hey, he's got a kilt on.
Yeah.
They would rather bang a dude who just showed up in a kilt than Blofeld. No wonder Blofeld hates James Bond.
By the way, Blofeld's scar, by the time you get to end of Spectre, doesn't make sense from just being in an explosion. It's like... not at all. Like his scar is a slice down his face.
Looks like a knife went down his face. Yeah,
but he was in an explosion. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
It could have been a piece of metal.
Yeah, because the cart he had in front of him had blown up.
By the way, that's another reason why I thought these were prequels, because we seen Blofeld with the scar done. This is how he was created.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, is this prequels? I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I got lost a little.
That's a good question. Well, I know as far as book wise, you said Casino Royale is the first one, right, Mick?
Casino Royale is the first book, yes.
Okay. So
How
that's
many
where
books
Bond
are there of Bond?
I think there's like 30 or something like that.
Oh, wow.
In that range.
By the way,
They're like short stories for the most part.
Yeah, and
That's
they cut
cool.
out a lot of racist stuff from what I've heard.
Well, yeah.
Early on.
Different
Okay.
times.
Here's some trivia. What is Q short for?
Queef?
Oh.
All About Loving You.
Oh shit.
Oh man, I have no idea.
Just know you're taking some chances here.
Listen, they introduced a new Q in Skyfall, and they literally said what
I forgot.
Quintessential?
I know it. I got to tip my tongue. I can't think of it.
I don't remember.
Queen? Quintessential?
I thought this was
don't
going to
know.
be an easy one.
Wait, what was
I
the
re-
question?
What does
What
Q
is-
stand for?
What is Q short for?
Oh, I know. But I
That's
thought we
funny.
were saying our names. I didn't know we started.
Oh, say
intermission
your
trivia.
name. Say your name.
I made a fucking graphic, and that's how I was gonna know questions were starting. And
I didn't know when I was
Sturdy
going to
Bird
start
over
them because I am drunk and I don't know what questions I'm going to ask.
I'm over here living on a prayer, just waiting for somebody to say their name.
Really? It took you that long to rip that one off?
It was
Okay.
an easy one. Shut up. It's like,
He
I'm
didn't
not
go for the
being
low
fun.
hanging
I'm not
fruit
wanted
at first.
that are alive.
There goes
You know what?
another
Come
one.
on, man.
More
Come
lip.
on. Now
If
you're
I get any more
just
lip. I'm leaving because who says you can't go home?
now you're just reading the fucking list.
I know. He just
Yeah, we're
the
almost
list.
at the end now, bud. I got a few to sneak in there. Don't worry.
That's what she said.
I'm trying to get through all of them. I want to see how many points you get.
Nobody's answered my question yet.
Oh, sorry.
I don't even remember.
Man,
All right,
What-
no,
what-
sorry, Q branch. Q stands for quant.
No.
What does it stand for?
Quartermaster.
Yeah, I know.
Oh
I
shit.
fucked up. I couldn't remember. I knew, but I couldn't remember.
I had no.
I was hoping it would come back to me before I answered. Oh well.
Okay.
Story of my life.
Quartermaster. Okay.
Come on, another one. Let's
Don't
go.
hate on this.
All right. What car make is James Bond
Chris!
associated with?
Aston
Puerto Rican.
Martin.
Yes.
Bullshit. I can answer that too, and it's the Lotus E-Spirit.
It's Aston Martin.
He showed up with once in any of those
It's
movies.
the Ford Fusion that he drives in the
Yeah.
last movie.
All right. Where is the Skyfall Lodge located?
Scotland. Wait, fuck. Mick.
I almost called his name for him.
All right,
It's in-
Mick.
It's in Scotland.
That is correct.
Nice.
All right, let me look through these questions. I was totally unprepared once again, even though I'm like, I got to get in there early and prepare myself.
I love it.
It happens.
Let me see if there's anything good here. What is the only? No, that's wrong. That's awful.
Did James Bond get shot in this one, or he got shot in Skyfall? Right?
He got shot in
through-
Skyfall by Moneypenny.
He was shot through the heart.
Through the shoulder, I'd say.
Oh, shoulder. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
shot through the heart.
That was a purpose Bon Jovi reference. God damn it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What is M's job title?
Ah, shit.
Mom.
Head of MI6?
That is the answer.
Head up. What? Head of.
Head of MI6. That is it.
Okay.
Too
I
simple.
thought it had a secret name too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's the full master. Get it, quartermaster? Oh, no.
Yeah, I got it.
She's professor of the dark arts, defense against the dark arts.
Oh my god. That it is. I don't know that it's a good idea that they cast Snape, a black man as Snape.
I'm
No.
holding. I'm reserving
That's-
judgment. I'll see how it goes.
There's a
Yeah, I
lot of
didn't even know
stuff they
that,
do
but
to
okay.
Snape in those books that can come off very bad. Like they hang him at one point.
Yeah, that's
I remember
true.
That hangs him from a tree.
Damn.
You know,
I remember my sister.
like
All right.
Snape does not get treated well, and Harry's a piece of shit to him for kind of no reason.
True.
Fucking English.
What else is good here? All right. Which of the following did James
Careful,
Bond?
Bond's listening.
So, which of the following did James Bond actually serve in? Air Force, Navy, or Army?
Navy.
Chris.
No, wait, fuck, Mick.
I heard Chris's name first.
That's fair.
Maybe fuck Chris and Mick.
I mean, you would think it's the Air Force because he flies everywhere.
No, he was Navy.
Let me make sure that is correct.
British Naval Command.
I even knew that one.
British Navy.
Yeah.
Remember, You Only Live Twice. They show you that he gets shipped down in his Navy dress uniform, and when they fake his death.
Yep.
All right. Now that we're here's a good one. As of 2023, how many actors have taken on the role of James Bond?
Mick.
Chris. Damn it.
Go ahead, Mick. Go ahead, Mick.
Oh, me? All right. Okay.
I was bad confused.
Okay. Now taking on the role of James Bond, or in just this franchise.
I said the question. You heard the question.
What was
how many actors have taken on the role?
In just this franchise, there's been 6. In James, what?
Okay,
You're already wrong.
7.
5.
James.
How is it 7?
He didn't say his name.
Roger
In
Moore,
order-
Sean Connery,
Sean
Daniel
Connery,
Craig, Pierce Brosnan,
No, Roger Moore.
This lists David
Dalton.
Niven. Who's
Dalton.
David Niven?
David Niven is in. That's why I asked in this franchise or another one. Casino Royale, and actually in that Casino Royale, there's like 4 James Bonds. One's played by David Niven. They make reference to Sean Connery.
I'm giving James the point. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Then that's technically not right. You have to say 8.
Yeah.
Because
I'm in charge of trivia.
there was
Don't
a
fuck with me.
Casino Royale in 1953 after the book was
Chris
produced.
just came to president from fucking Hunger Games.
Yeah,
Whatever.
James wins.
No, I'm
James.
taking a point for that, and I'll give James a point.
James wins.
I'm taking a point for that.
Chris just became fucking President Snow from fucking Hunger Games. He said, "It's my rules. I'm doing it. I don't
How many
care.
did you get, Chris?
Your district will be punished."
Which movie sees Bond survive a cremation oven whilst trapped inside a coffin?
Mick.
Mick? I feel like he's just saying his name before he even can
it was
register
it was Live and Let Die.
Do we have a second guess?
All
Because that's wrong.
right. Oh shit! Then I'm.
Chris,
Is it the one with the voodoo?
Die Another Day.
No.
Oh my
man.
god.
I have no idea.
Just,
Hold on.
just,
Oh,
just
wait,
pick
wait.
Nope.
Come on,
James, just pick a movie net title.
All right.
Sturdy Octopussy.
Nope.
The satellite one. What's the satellite called?
There's a lot with satellites.
Moonraker.
No, the movie's basically named of a satellite.
Dude, the man with the golden gun used a satellite.
Yeah, the movie's named after the satellite.
James, you gotta pick a title
Golden
before I can
Eye.
move on.
GoldenEye, the man with the golden gun had a satellite. Technically, Tomorrow Never Dies used satellites as well. Die Another Day had a satellite.
The one with it has
Moonmaker had satellites.
James, which
Yeah.
movie sees Bond survive a cremation oven whilst trapped inside a coffin?
Just throw a title out there.
Just throw a title out there.
Does someone say Never Let Die? I
I
don't
can't
know.
remember.
I'm not doing this.
That is incorrect. All right, back to Mick.
Well, tell us the answer. Oh, wait. No, I get to say it.
Yeah.
Is it From Russia with Love?
Wow.
Wrong.
What is
Oh
it?
my god.
That's a good question.
Icarus. What? No. Yeah. What's that movie with the Icarus in it?
Somebody pull up a fucking list and just
Die
start going
Another
through
Day
this.
had the Icarus, didn't it? No,
It's
wait.
not.
Die
Die
Day.
Another Day.
No, I wasn't. I was just saying Die Another Day. All right. Let me think. No, I don't want to pull it up. I want to think about it. I just watched all these fucking things. I want to challenge myself.
Which movie was he in the coffin about to be burned alive?
GoldenEye.
No.
Uh-uh.
Was it The Living Daylights?
No.
Goldfinger.
No.
License to
Was it the
Kill?
one with the voodoo? What's the voodoo one?
Would
No.
you just tell us?
A View to a Kill. Are you making this
No,
up?
I'm not.
License to
Octopussy.
Kill. I don't know.
No.
All right, that
For
one.
Your Eyes Only.
No.
The Spy Who
Skyfall.
Loved Me.
No.
Moonraker.
No.
For Your Eyes
Thunderball.
Only.
No.
Oh, I said that one.
The first one,
Diamonds Are
Bond.
Forever.
It's just called
Diamonds
Bond.
Are Forever.
There you go. There you go.
You gotta name every fucking movie.
Name every movie before you. I'm not taking that one because I took the last one. But
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Jesus.
Chris, how many you got?
I'm done asking questions.
All right,
Okay,
so
okay.
now we're at James has 3, Chris has 3, Sturdy has 3, I have 4, and Belly Button has 1.
Okay. Belly button.
I forgot why we called you Belly Button Jones, but that's who you are now.
Oh,
That was
No
fun.
clue.
That was not that fun.
Just start naming titles until you get it.
Oh, I remember that. I remember when he goes into it's in Vegas.
Yeah.
He goes into the funeral home, and you always get knocked out, dude.
Every movie gets knocked out.
Every movie is always getting knocked out.
Yeah. Oh shit.
And you do realize that they burn the coffins evenly, right? They don't just burn it starting at the feet.
Like it's a fucking
Yeah.
what is it called? Where you go down the assembly line.
Pizza oven or
Pizza,
something.
yeah.
Oh God.
What do you think about Dave Bautista's role?
I liked it.
Mr.
Say
Hanks,
it-
whatever. I like him.
When he first
Yeah, it
started,
was
that's
good.
all he was. When he's in a movie, don't talk, don't say no lines. You're just muscle.
He was good, but even then, he still played a good role. Like
Oh,
he
he
did
was
so
good.
good.
as a-
effective.
He had like no dialogue. When he
It
said
fit
like, the last word he said was cute or something like that when the chain pulled him out of the train.
but it fit the role, man. It fit the
yeah,
Oh, you're
character
right.
they were-
Most of those henchmen didn't really
Oh,
like Odd Job never really said anything.
No, you don't
that's
need a
the
lot
thing.
of dialogue.
That's another reason I thought these were prequels. I thought that was going to be how Odd Job got created.
I love that.
I thought Dave Bautista was going to be that dude. I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck's happening here? He's going to come back with his jaw fucked up. So this is what happens when I
Odd
draw
Job
that train.
was Spectre.
Nah, Job. Oh, what's that? Jaw dude.
Jaws. Jaws
Jaws.
wasn't
There you
Spectre.
go.
Jaws.
No, he.
Yeah, Odd Job was the
Yeah.
Asian dude. with
Short,
the hat.
yeah.
And Goldfinger, yeah.
What actually, you know what? One of my favorite scenes in this that kind of cracked me up is Q. When James Bond goes to see Q, Q shows him the car that was created for like 009. And James Bond got excited. Then Q's like, "No, this watch is for you," and just gives him the watch.
Yeah, what does this do? It's like it tells time.
It tells time,
He
I
says
love-
it don't blow. You expect it
but
to blow up.
the alarm's loud. If you
Blows up.
the alarm's loud, if you know what I mean.
I do love that
But then Bond
Yeah.
takes the car anyway.
yeah.
Yeah. He
Such a
said,
nice
"Fuck
car,
you."
too.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was.
Yeah, those DB5s and those
That was the
DB3s are
DB10.
gorgeous. Oh, the newer one, yeah, but I'm saying he has that affinity to always having that classic one, that DB5 being restored. And
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, because I have the DB8 too. Like, cause so
Yeah,
Not-
the 7
not
the
and 8
real
was
car,
Pierce
a
Brosnan,
ma- a
right?
Matchbox.
Or DBS.
that's the not the real one. That's the Connery. Then you got the Moore, which was a submarine as well.
Yep.
And in this
Yep.
one, this
Yep.
is going to be in No Time to Die, and it's the same Aston Martin from The Living Daylights. I'm excited because that's my favorite.
Nice.
This one's the
Nice.
brand new one of that year, though.
This movie is where he kills the bad guy and
Nice.
then almost immediately banes his wife,
Oh yeah.
his widow,
Well,
which
yeah,
is part of the 00 lifestyle.
Yep.
He's Bond.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
Did you say the sex count? How many women now?
We're,
58,
we're,
right?
at, we're at 58 through
Yeah,
Spectre.
because we're seeing if he's gonna
But
make it.
this is one of the few where he banes a random woman and she doesn't die. Like they don't go back to her after he leaves her. Like
Which one?
That's true.
Refresh my memory.
Yeah, but she also makes that choice. She says, "I can't do this,"
blonde.
and she leaves.
Daughter
And then
of what's his
Madeline.
face?
Madeline
yeah.
Swan. That's his. He falls in love with her.
he falls in love with Madeline Swan, but he banes the guy's wife before he finds out about Madeline Swan.
No, I'm
Like,
trying to
he-
remember. I'm trying to remember who the wife was.
But I can't remember the name.
How dare you?
How dare you?
It wasn't it wasn't anything crazy like Octopussy or anything like that.
Something that stands out.
Yeah,
like
it wasn't
Well,
anything that
Monica
stands out. It was
Bellucci.
like something. Yeah, it was just like some
Wait, what was her
Italian-
name? Monica?
Monica Bellucci, she's a famous actress. Like
No, what was her name in the movie?
in the movie, her name was
It was something like Italian. Or something
Lucia Sciarra.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. I know
Yeah.
the
That
weird.
doesn't stand out to us. You gotta have a crazy name like Octopussy or
Yeah, I know.
Plan B or something. Make it more Bondish.
But this is like they did a great job. What I like about Spectre is that it literally connects all the movies before this. By every bad guy he's come across was part of this Spectre organization they didn't know about. Fucking what's the actor's name? The actor's name that
Bluefield's the Bond.
Glorious Bastards.
All right, 3 people talking.
His adopted brother, right? Because he was adopted.
Yeah, they shoehorned that one in.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
I wish they didn't do that. Like
that was a little bit of a reach. I felt like
Like it's always cool.
But that was the thing. Like I don't feel like you needed to make them brothers to have this revenge storyline. I honestly thought they should have made Blofeld like, yes, he is like the architect of all his demise and everything he's been through.
Mm-hmm.
But because he's almost like a Scaramanga, like this, he wants an adversary worth him and what Spectre is. So he chose, like, I thought that would have been cool if like they played him like kind of like took Blofeld, made him a Scaramanga sort of situation. Where it's like he purposely picked James, like James like pissed them off, like which is what he did in the originals too. Just annoying the hell out of Spectre to the point where they're just like, all right, we just gotta kill this guy.
They could have made them just like Navy buddies or something. Something went down when they were in the Navy.
Yeah, that would have been better. That would have been much better.
It was that line of throwing it in there like James Bond was like an adopted, like Blofeld's dad had basically adopted him and raised him slightly for some moment of time. Like that kind of felt like a throwaway.
Yeah,
especially since they play off of the whole idea of Bond's family and him going back to his old house and everything, and then showing the graveyard with the name on the tombstone of Bond and all that stuff.
Like, they literally just went through his background in Skyfall, and they make no reference of him being taken care of. Like he went straight from Skyfall and losing his family to M adopting him or something like that, essentially, in like Skyfall, like with no reference that he could have been cared by for anybody else.
I honestly, I took it as like he had a life. Like this was his life. Like whatever it was, he came from money. So we, and they said like he has money. He's set. So I think it was just more about the idea of like this guy, he was an orphan. He was basically Bruce Wayne, but then he went into the military, rather than go train to become like this superhero. He just
and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
I like James's idea of like maybe having made Blofeld like an old Navy buddy or something that was felt betrayed or whatever, or just I don't know. It could have been
left him to die or something like that,
or thought he did.
Not the brother thing, not like that just felt like too much of a stretch.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Bond. They could have played it like he was an army dude. Something went wrong. Everybody thought he died, but he didn't. Bond goes back to let his people know, oh, sorry, he's gone. And then he ends up sleeping with the guy's wife or something. Then it's like, all right, I get it. It's Bond. He doesn't know where not to stick it. I get it.
Glade plug it on. Plug it in. Come on, who would be a better Glade commercial than Bond?
And I don't mind that Bond picks up a new actual love interest in this one.
Yeah.
Swan or anything like that. But I also feel like it was a little bit rushed. Like I don't think that they just kind of jumped into it. Like she says, "I love you, James," like super quick. Like even quick for a Bond girl.
I mean, they kind of all do.
But they do. But this is literally after like James Bond shows up to tell her her father's dead and he's there to fucking protect her. It goes from there to I love you.
completely agree. But if we didn't have 23 other movies before this where literally they all fell in love, the special part is that he said it too.
That is the only special part. Otherwise, it just feels a little rushed it's a 2.5 hour movie. You're telling me they couldn't work this in?
This was supposed to be his last one. And so that's why it feels very definitive at the end.
Okay. It does feel a little definitive.
It looked like he came back, but then he left. He just wanted the car.
He was
So
tired.
Like,
he didn't want to do James Bond anymore.
Yeah.
He was having like troubles with negotiations and stuff with the Broccoli's at the time, and it was just like it was tumultuous. But like he didn't hate it, but it was just tumultuous. So they were like, "Can you do one more for us? It's coming up." Yeah, this is 2016. They're like, and then we'll pick somebody new for the 50th. Mm-hmm. And then he came back and he did this one, and it blew up. Like it did really well. And then for the 50th, they hadn't picked anybody new. What is this? Is somebody doing something? Oh, and then for the 50th, like they were coming up on it, and they hadn't picked anybody new because this one takes place in 2016.
2015.
The next one doesn't come out until like 2022.
Yeah, this is 2015.
So but they really wanted to have 25 movies from 50 years. That's why they bring it back to No Time to Die, and they do a good job connecting them. I like No Time to Die. I like it more than this one. And honestly, in this one, as much as I enjoy the adventure, the story, and everything about it, and it connects well, and I like that feature, it's not a great movie. There's a lot of like holes that feel like they're being plugged with just shoving shit in.
For the 50th anniversary?
No,
I could see that.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Because you have Christopher Waltz, that's the actor's name, playing the head of Spectre. There's no reference to any kind of overall organization really prior to this. I feel like they could have been worked in if you knew that's where this was going to go.
No, it's not really a secret if it's known.
No,
it's like Cobra, you know what I mean? That you didn't really know Cobra existed until they really bumped into Deathstroke, right?
That you're not wrong, but just to throw it all into a single movie with no real connection between the villains he's seen in the previous 4 or 3 movies.
Other than the fact that they were all being manipulated and puppeted by him and his organization.
By somebody or something, some kind of like even small.
I wish if this was supposed to be the last one and they wanted to make Spectre at the heart of it, they just didn't do the personalized connection. Because I really think it would have played better without that personalized connection, because now you can just focus on Spectre being there. Blofeld is there. And now you can take away of like why were they going after Bonds, and then you could do some throwaway that's like, you were pissing us off, you were driving us crazy, so we decided to fucking make you hurt.
If they introduced Blofeld somehow at the end of Skyfall, almost like a fucking credit scene, or even, and then this movie is about Spectre.
Yeah. They alluded to it in Skyfall. Sorry, they alluded to it in Skyfall just with the court case and proceedings that M was showing up to her one night, and that was the whole point of her case was like, hey, you sure you want us to go away? Because if we do, you don't know what's out there and what's going to be coming, because we're working in the shadows against all the things that are in the shadows that you don't even know. And this was one of those things that no one knew. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what screws this movie up is Quantum of Solace. Because in the first movie, Mr. Green, he talks about the organization he works for, and they do it very slyly, and that's when you're like, wow, that's Spectre. He's talking about Spectre. That's a cool nod. And they'll probably bring that up one day. And then in the very next one, he says, we're with Quantum. And you're like, what? And then you find out the Quantum of Solace and all that stuff, like what that actually is. And you're like, why didn't you just do Spectre? And I get, because that was written at the 2008 writer strike, and it was written by Daniel Craig and director at the time, and they were trying to rush it. But that's where I think really hurt it, because I think they wanted to build to Spectre, but they're like, we can't do it here though. We got to build to that. And it's like, I wish they had introduced it, maybe not even said the name of the organization. He still doesn't know, but he knows there's one. And then in Skyfall, when he finally gets that dude, gets Silva, maybe Silva's wearing one of those rings, and that's how he connects.
Yeah. If they introduce the fucking ring he's carrying around or he gets a hold of in Spectre at the end of Skyfall, and then that leads into Spectre, I think that would have been a better transition.
Let me ask you, out of these two, what were the beginnings that you liked the most? Because these two beginnings are very explosive.
They are.
With the train and all that stuff. But this one too, with the helicopter, Day of the Dead.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I thought that was really awesomely stunt heavy. The next one is very much that too. So
good.
This one, it was funny because I don't know who I was talking to. Maybe it was you, Mick, or I just mentioned it in the P&P group chat. But I'm watching Spectre, and I didn't know that I've seen this before. I have seen this before, but the only scene that registered in my memory is literally where he goes to the mountaintop to meet Madeline Swan. Just something about the snow-covered mountaintop, and he's going into this glass building. I'm like, I know I've seen this. I don't know why that is the only scene I remember, but I'm like, that is the only scene I remembered from the first time I've seen this.
This is a first-time watch for me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It felt like a first-time watch other than that scene because I'm like, I don't remember any of this.
I got a little correlation to the other movie, a little piece that we were talking about. So there was the scene with the whole shot glass and him, obviously he made a choice to not shoot it, right? Like Nick had said. But at the same time, in this movie, they kind of show into that as well at the end when Homeboy's in the plane flying away and he's in the boat. All of a sudden, this dude has eagle eye accuracy, and that last shot hits that engine, and you know what I mean?
But he gained it back though. It was the confidence shake. His confidence was shaken after he got shot in the other one. Okay. So that's why he was challenging him to see if he was the same James Bond that he had always heard about. And when he couldn't do it, and that's why it was so explosive when he couldn't shoot. He couldn't pull himself to shoot because he didn't want to see somebody get killed,
right?
Who was innocent. But then fucking murders 4 people in under 3 seconds.
Yeah.
That was for me, that was where it was he's there. He knows how to do it. He just doesn't want to put people in harm's way anymore. He's got this PTSD that he's dealing with. And so by the time you get to this one, he's in. He's like, I'm James Bond. I'm back. Don't worry about me. Oh shit. Drop something.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's cool. It would have been cool to watch them have him refine his technique a little bit as far as his approaches, because that being a correlation that could be made with a person internalizing, right? Hey, damn, we even seen it as the theme in fucking the Avengers and shit, right? With the Sokovia Accords and shit. It's like, yo, you're doing all this good, but look at all this damage that's occurred. So hopefully he would, I would have liked to see a little bit of that growth in his tactics and stuff like that, to be more mindful.
He never gets mindful about that.
But
shit.
he
always
he's just that. Bond. Bond is Bond. Bond is just gung ho.
It really is. He's always yells at Bond for seriously. Mm-hmm. Seriously, dude. Mm-hmm. You can't just chill for 5 seconds, maybe walk into a building, not blow everything up.
But then he wouldn't be Bond if he did that.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
It's true.
This costs the organization a lot of money because I'm sure they got to pay it back. Everything that Bond blows up.
Who legitimately went up, fought a battle in space, and came back and took the time to bang the woman he was with.
Yes.
Yep. He took the time to bang her before he debriefed on the mission in space.
Yep.
I mean, how else would you celebrate?
I don't blame
right.
I don't know, but what was Q's famous line? I know you know it.
I think he's attempting re-entry, sir.
Boom. That's why.
That is still, through however many movies, the best joke I have heard in any of these.
24 now. 24 movies total now.
Yep.
That is the best joke they have written.
What's everybody's ratings for this one? I gave this one a 9. So James,
I'm even with
Go ahead, Chris.
I'm even with you on that 9, giving it a 9, just like Skyfall. I feel like these are both on par with each other. No real missteps or anything like that. Again, simple movies. They're action. They're spies. There's Bond. There's beautiful women, good scenery, and some crazy shit that happens. You can't knock it.
What about you, James?
Because of the, I didn't like they're related in a way type. My dad raised you shit. I didn't like that, so I'm gonna give it an 8.
Okay.
Yeah, because the last one I liked better.
Seeing as how this opens up in Mexico and Day of Dead's, I'm gonna say my answer in Spanish, and that is "Como yo nadie te ha amado."
What does that mean, Chris?
What?
Como te what?
He didn't say no number.
Como yo nadie te ha amado.
I have no clue what you're saying. Is that Polynesian? Is that fucking
That
Filipino?
is not, that's listen. If you don't know Spanish, that's on you, man. My rating for this is 7.5. It's a good movie. I like it. It's very action driven, but like the Blofeld connection with the brothers is the big miss for me. There's a few other misses here and there. Chris, I think you're right. It is rushed a bit in certain areas, and I think Spectre is being built up well here, but because of the missteps before, it has some holes to it, and that's why it just kind of misses for me.
I agree.
So,
I'm gonna give this an 8. Like I said, I feel like it was a throwaway line where they tried to connect Blofeld and Bond as like a substitute, like stepbrother type thing. Like it was like a quick reference to Blofeld's dad helped raise Bond, but like how the fuck did he know the family and shit like that? Or where did that come in? That hasn't been a mention before then. I feel like they rushed his relationship with Swan a little bit, the way they fell in love as opposed to with like Vesper. But it's still great. It still builds on the story. They could have worked Inspector and the connection a little better, I think, through the first 3 movies if they knew that's where this was going. But yeah, an 8.
8.
Okay.
Nice. One more Bond movie, guys. Next week, No Time to Die. And we're bringing the wheel back, which I can't wait. I miss him so much.
What are you giving it, 30?
I gave it a 9.
Oh yeah,
I gave it a 9. I mean, overall, I really did enjoy these movies. I do agree with you guys on that whole them being related, or even just the whole, even if it's not blood related. Like my dad, that's just nah.
I think our ratings would be higher due to the Blofeld Spectre thing if we hadn't just watched all of these movies leading up to it.
That's very fair. That's very, very fair.
Because Spectre was such a big part of the Connery years, and Blofeld especially. We've got to see so many. So I don't think we're bothered by the fact that we got to see so many Blofelds or what Spectre was. But the fact that it seemed more organized back then, more so than it was in these, it's like you really missed an opportunity with Quantum of Solace there. Yeah, but I do I like this movie, and I like to watch Skyfall, this movie, and No Time to Die right in a row. I think they match up the best.
Skyfall.
So, all right, Chris, what's your final count on the Bon Jovis?
5, 10, 15, 16, 17. I got 19.
19?
Oh, I got 17. Fuck, I missed
17, 19. You guys didn't count?
I didn't.
I didn't do any.
Black Bear, Brown Rice, you didn't count it? Tell me now. No Bon Jovi for you?
Nah.
Oh, you do not hold Bon Jovi in these arms then.
Listen, I just watched Sinners last night, and with white people in music, I don't really have a taste for it right now.
There's just certain tropes you gotta let live. You know what I'm saying? So I let it live right here in the podcast. I act like I did nothing.
So Chris takes it with 19 out of 32.
Jesus.
32. Holy
32 shit. Song titles I said throughout this.
That's crazy. I'm not saying I'm
Como Yonati Teha Amano. That's one of his songs. I was like, I have to fit this in. I have to fit this in somehow. None of this says.
You didn't even say a number. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yo no te mommy. I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck you was trying to say.
That one got me
you don't eat what? You don't.
I don't know if it's real.
Someone got
It
me
is
like
one of his songs, but I don't
You
know.
don't know
if it's
Ten
real.
Mommy what?
I had like 3 or 4 years of
Como?
Spanish classes, and I'm like, what the fuck does
Como's
that
where, right?
Como, yo,
Isn't that how?
Naughty,
Or how,
Nadie, Te Ha Amado is the name of the song. What it means, I don't know. I did put it on Google
Probably
Translate.
Japanese, bro.
Probably is. I don't know. But so far in the questions categories for intermission trivia, I'm in the lead with 4. I might do this name game, this title game again. There will be others I choose. Don't just stay with me on that one. It'll be fun. I'm not just gonna choose white guys who sang in the 70s and 80s.
Good.
90s. He's saying in the
I
90s.
will pick Hootie from Hootie and the Blowfish as well.
He is
All right.
black.
You know that's not his name at all.
But we know who you mean.
Daryl Rucker.
Darius
Darren
Rucker.
Rucker.
Darius Ruckus.
Darius Rucker. Oh, close enough.
We know who you meant.
But
All right. Well,
yeah,
Take us out, Hootie.
take us out. Who wants to hold my hand?
oh, that's another
Oh, I'm
bar.
gonna walk you across the street, Mick, so I don't get hit by cars.
Love you the best that I can.
I only want to be with you.
Oh my
Oh my
goodness!
god.
And with that said, we're gonna get on out of here. Make sure you guys go check out Stories from a Bar, worst
Let
end
her,
gamer
let her
ever.
try.
The Scene
I don't know
Snobs,
who's
of course.
slippery, but
Check out Popcorn Pints and Horror with Search 30 as well. We're out of here.